call the meeting to order. Thursday, July 23rd, meeting of the Recreation Trails Committee, 3 o'clock to 5 o'clock meeting today. Hope everyone can stay for the duration. And lots of items in the agenda. Let's do roll call first.
Till is here, Matt is here, I'm here, Chris is here, John's here, Elliot and Josh are absent of the voting members.
Josh is online.
Oh, you-
Yeah. Rocky's on. Hi, Rocky. Hi, Josh.
I'm here. Yeah, no sound on this end, guys. If y'all can hear me. There it is.
We have IT on the way.
There we go. We can hear you now. Or I can.
Okay, good. We good? Thumbs up from the field. All right. Approval of minutes from June 18th. Any comments, changes? Thought they look good. Thank you, Mr. Secretary. Okay, so the minutes are approved. Any by consensus? All right, minutes are approved. All right, today's agenda, and we're gonna probably jump into it faster than we need to. There's 4 topics for today. One is discussion and presentation with American Ramp Company about our pump track projects and other items for that in the Allen Fields. That's an hour presentation. It's give and take will get done faster. Great. Second item is ECTA status report. Proposal quotes, first of all, regarding trail assessments for adaptive use and trail accessibility assessments. And then the status of adding unofficial trails in Carson National Forest to 2 deliverables we asked, tangible items we asked ECTA to work on with their contract. Third item is progress reports on Allen Fields master plan. And we've devoted a few minutes for that. Survey status. Hopefully a report from Shay on that. Skate park pad, any new updates on where that's moving. And then third would be the Perimeter Trail and Trails Plus grant. Rocky can help us think that through and where our next steps are for that. And then finally wrap up working with our reviewing the assigned task actions, establishing our agenda items for next meeting, updates for Councilor Weeks to send to council, and establish meeting time. So we okay with, time allocations for what we got here, an hour for American Ramp? 20 minutes for ECTA, 20 so minutes for Progress Reports Allen Fields, and wrap up 10 minutes. Sound okay? Approved. Okay, agenda's approved. All right, so, American Ramp Company reached out to Manager Weir a month or so ago. I think Rocky Lira also reached out to American Ramp Company. I reached out to them, so it's timely that they were already on a circuit ride through this New Mexico this week. It worked out to have them here do a presentation on their work throughout the states and the region. And so I wanted a good presentation on everything we've already talked about and had questions about bike parks and pump tracks that we've already discussed. So their presentation will cover those questions, and then we'll also have a good open discussion on how we can move forward on making that a reality in Allen Fields. Does that sound good? Guys, take it away.
Sweet, all right. Is the slideshow up? You guys want to see her, or does it matter?
Yeah, everyone should see it because these guys online need to look at it too.
Okay. Lucas, did you email the slideshow over? Yeah, emailed it.
Yeah, Ileana got it, so it should be notable.
Sweet. But yeah, you guys have talked a little bit about the pump track bike park already. Yeah. And I know we were under the understanding of main focuses are maintenance as well as adaptive use and kind of how to make that possible. So we wanted to touch on, bike parks. That was kind of our main focus.
Yeah, well, I'll give you a little quick background on that. So
That'd be perfect, yeah.
we recently completed a new master plan concept for Allen Fields.
Guys, but that's not a.
So I think it's a email about it. I think.
And this Allen Fields concept shows a large that the village approved, and we approved a large 100 by 200 foot
difference.
concrete pad, skate pad over here, and then this zone north of the softball complex would be the pump track kind of concept.
That's perfect.
Then around the perimeter might be a perimeter trail with some bike playground features that we kind of talked about. So that's where we're at with this concept. The only thing that exists right now is this parking in here and these two fields. The rest of it is an open slate.
I'm gonna talk with Rocky a little bit about that perimeter trail.
Okay. So that's where we're at, is that, our committee, makes recommendations to council. We approve everything by consensus, so, what we're moving after is consensus. We send it to council, council makes decisions. Based on conversations with, the part of the village staff and administration and others of how things move forward. But the
Master Council has approved this slab for the.
yes, council has approved the slab.
For skate.
For the
And
skate.
it's gonna be 200 by 100 feet, correct?
Right, I mean, that's what the concept said, right?
That's,
Huge slab.
Yeah.
So,
yeah,
Fill it up.
yeah,
we'll be going over kind of what we do bike wise.
Okay.
Obviously, we create skate parks as well. So we have 30 years of experience. We do projects all over the country, all over the state, but I want to make sure that we're hitting your guys' questions
okay.
and answering anything that you guys want.
Can we also still have the other guys on?
Are you
Can we share them with the screen? Just so they have questions, we can, flag them.
If you go
Is
into
it-
Teams,
There it is.
this will share you.
Because they should already be
And then-
shared for just screen anyway, so they should be able to.
I want to see who's online as well, in case they've got a question and we don't want to leave them out. So it was there.
So you don't know, they're not good with technology.
You have them there. They're on the right. If you close that screen there they are. That works.
But.
I'll do when he goes there.
Okay.
I think it's something.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
All right. So if, our virtual audience has questions, just shout out, please.
Yeah, definitely. And stop us at any point if you guys have any questions, or if you guys want to just ditch the presentation, we can just have a discussion, but
Well, let's,
we can definitely go
let's
through.
start with that and then decide where we go. You know what else?
Slides.
Hmm?
Put them on slide?
51 slides. We go through them pretty quickly.
Okay.
It's not gonna be 51
Next
minutes.
one
I'll
on the
fix that.
slide will be in 51 minutes.
No, we're gonna do them pretty quickly.
these are if we need, if you guys don't do any interaction, any talking, anything, you get 51 slides. If we get to start having a conversation, we can forget about this.
But yeah, we're out of Southwest Missouri. My name's Lucas, this is Dalton. We do projects all over the country, all over the state. We're a design build firm and we specialize in action wheeled sports. So that's skate parks, bike parks, pump tracks, bicycle playgrounds. And yeah, we're leading the industry in that field as well. But I don't know if you guys got a clicker or if you want me to.
No, we're gonna use hand signals.
Okay, yeah.
Just let me.
You let out a little.
I go to the next one. We good?
Yeah, like I said, my name's Lucas. This is my family. We got a baby boy coming. It's gonna be Christmas baby, so excited for that. Yeah, and I got Dalton with me, so
Yeah.
any questions that I can't answer, Dalton will be able to answer for sure.
We're good?
Yep, did it. Yeah, like I said, 30 years of experience, 45 different countries, 4,000 different projects. And this week, we're in New Mexico. Yeah, so go ahead and hit it. Yeah, so this was our trip this week. We started in Albuquerque. You don't really see the night of after Albuquerque, but we went up to the village of Logan. And then we had a meeting there, went down to Tucumcari, went over to Roswell, which isn't on that either, but yeah, we had
Took a detour.
we had burritos down in Sunland Park and went up through Las Cruces and yeah, started today with another Indian or burrito with the Hickory Apache Nation. Which until yeah, you're right, that meeting took longer than expected. Yeah, it was a while before we got to see the president.
Longer. Yeah.
But yeah. But yeah, we wanted to show you some of our favorite projects in the state. One of my favorite projects is Portales. So this is an asphalt pump track as well as a concrete skate park, and it also has a above ground mini ramp on it. But a cool thing that we did with this park was we did a park ID with it. So within Portales, I think they found some fossils of some mammoths. So we kind of went with that theme. We gave them specialized logos and we put that on the mini ramp as well as sections. Yeah, the wall ride on the asphalt pump track. And yeah, you can see it right there. But this pump track is super fun. Just, I don't know if you guys have been on a pump track or if you guys have been over to Portales, but this is my favorite in the state. And upcoming phases, they're going to be doing a bicycle playground. And they're also going to be doing a beer garden here. And they want to put our modular ramps that can be removed from that pad as well. But we're excited for the upcoming phases of Portales. Yeah, and this is the design for phase 2. You can see the bicycle playground above the asphalt pump track. So that's going to be a kind of like a bike skills course for kids between ages 3 to 12. And then we also have a small bicycle skills course above that. Another project, another favorite one of ours is in Penasco. I always say that wrong. But this was a 3-phase project. So we started off with the above ground ramps on the pad and then did the concrete bowl and then moved over into the asphalt pump track. And even on the top side of this picture, there's asphalt jump lines that go around the asphalt pump track as well. But this is one of our favorite and probably most popular in New Mexico. Next one. Another great one is Bernalillo, New Mexico. So this was our first hybrid park in the state. This was, putting the concrete pad with the asphalt pump track. But this was a great project as well. Yeah, go on. And you guys might be familiar with Red River. So just recently they put artificial turf around the site and they're able to even use the logos for it as well. But yeah, it's a fairly small asphalt pump track and small concrete pad. But when we were doing community engagement in Eagle Nest, all the kids there, they were talking about going over to Red River and finding different lines on their asphalt pump track. So they're excited about getting an asphalt pump track in Eagle Nest as well. And these are going to be some upcoming projects. And I'll let Dalton speak on those.
Yeah, I mean, I'll give you 3 guesses where this one goes. Oh, you wrote it on top. Okay, yeah. Yeah, so, we like to do, any type of project, whether it's a huge destination or whether it's a little, $50,000 half pipe. Roswell, obviously we couldn't do something little, and they have more theming potential than almost anywhere else that we work. And so we brought in the creative team, we got notepads for sketching ideas for how to design out their all wheels park. So it's got a huge concrete skate park with a beginner street section, an advanced street section, a pump track. But the main draw obviously is there's crop circles in the concrete. There's UFOs that'll beam purple lights down onto the concrete once the sun goes down. There's even a little alien that you can jump out over if you want to. But just a design example, we design lots of parks in New Mexico specifically because you have some really awesome grant infrastructure you're probably all very well aware of. So this was an example of a project we're designing to tee up for a Trails Plus application or a quality of life application.
Just to touch on that one just a little bit more, actually, the Hickory Nation, they want to take the alien theme to their skate park. I think Roswell might have lost that.
Yeah. And just a couple more projects coming up, and you kind of get the idea. We design all-wheel parks. We love working with communities to come up with something for the skateboards and scooters, mountain bikes, BMX bikes. And so these are 3 projects that we're actively under contract right now to design 2 tee up grant applications. All of them have an asphalt pump track, all have a concrete skate park. So that's sort of what's going on in state. We're working with Cuesta, with Taos. We already have a park in Red River and in Penasco. So safe to say we've got you surrounded. We'd love to work with you. Yeah, working with all the neighbors.
Do you do the installation also?
Yes, sir. We're a design build firm.
So how big's the organization?
We've got,
Just you 2 guys, right?
yeah, we're just really busy. We have about 100 employees. All of our contractors are in-house, so we have specialty subcontractors for the asphalt pump tracks that are exclusive to us. They're captured subs. And then our concrete builders are all in-house, so they're on our payroll, they're our teammates. We work in the same office as our designers, project managers, engineers. We're not a briefcase contractor, I guess. Everybody is very tight, very well knit. We do about $50 million worth of parks a year. But, a good chunk of those is New Mexico. And we're building 4 asphalt pump tracks in state this year. We've designed 9 more for applications for next year. So your state is just full of outdoor recreation, safe to say. That's why we're out here 3 or 4 times a year.
I was here last month. I'm gonna be here next month and then.
Oh, yeah, I'll be here next month.
So, yeah.
Is that a trend through all the states that have outdoor recreation divisions and departments?
Yes. Yeah, especially with the grant infrastructure. So like we do projects in Colorado, in Utah. And if they have, similar to what you guys have with quality of life, with Trails Plus, projects follow. In states that don't have that, like Idaho doesn't have very robust outdoor rec. Boise does a project, the big cities do project, and the little guys, there's not a whole lot they can do.
We're doing a lot of work in Idaho too, but yeah, grant wise, it's difficult. Wow. Yeah, another project that is upcoming is Las Cruces. So we have 2 asphalt pump tracks that are going to be installed at the end of this year, and Las Cruces is one of them, as well as Columbus, New Mexico. And we had 2 at the beginning of the year that were installed, which was the Village of Logan, as well as the Village of Santa Clara. Yeah, this is a park theme that we're going to be doing with Las Cruces. So the Chupacabra Chase Bike Park.
So do all of these locations have a theme or?
We like to try, even if it's really subtle. And there are some cities that we work with that, one of them had a really big mining theme, but they didn't want to go very overt with this. So we took some mining tires that went on some of their equipment and put them in the park so kids can ride over them. So not all of them are as overt as Roswell. Obviously, we had to go overkill in that scenario.
Versus is obviously the big thing.
Yeah.
So we have fire here, Angel Fire, is that do fire out?
Still doing flame?
Trust me.
Jump over a flame?
You know, so we can get some.
You said us loose designing a park, you're gonna get some wild ideas. We'll show you guys a couple examples here in a second.
Exactly. But any questions on who we are, projects that is upcoming or?
Origin asphalt pump tracks, is that the typical mode of construction, or is there do other companies do other types?
Yeah, so our firm, we can offer all build methods. So if that's concrete, dirt, modular options or asphalt, but we just found more success as well as more bang for your buck with asphalt. And especially when it comes to bikers. So you're gonna have more traction, more grip to it, less slip.
No, those are
and
like oil lamps or something, gifts. Yeah.
Hey, Lucas.
Yes, sir.
Hey, Lucas. I was just wondering what your involvement is in the engineering phase of these tracks, any of your projects. Can you elaborate a little bit on that?
Yeah, so the first step is usually going through our concept design services. There, you're gonna be paired with our professional writers, our engineering department, as well as, yeah, our design department. And at that point, they're going to be working with you on scanning the site. They'll be going over, or getting you a 2D design, cost estimates, material breakdown. They'll get you a 3D, and they can even go into engagement at that point. If you want to engage the community. But that's kind of the first step. So me and Dalton are kind of at the front line of it, and then it gets passed on to the people that actually know a lot more. If our designers, our professional writers, our, yeah.
That's pretty much it.
Do you work with third-party engineers?
Yeah.
Oh, you know one?
Well,
I mean,
you know,
from time to time, we'll work with design firms, engineers, civil, architecture, but it depends on the project. You know, in Roswell, we were under a civil engineer, but that's because it was part of a much larger project and we needed like landscaping plans, irrigation plans. The majority of the time, though, we are contracted directly with the village, with the municipality, just because what we do is very specialty. And so we're able to handle turnkey design from, it's a flat pad, there's nothing there, through full-blown construction documents and we're ready to build it.
Hang on one second.
So,
thank you for that.
something else on surfacing real quick. So, you know, pump tracks used to be made out of dirt, all of them. And then as we were doing a bunch of those, we realized the maintenance was just crazy. Most municipalities couldn't keep up with it, or their public works department didn't have the skill set or capacity to shape it and keep it just right. So we started doing concrete pump
Hang
tracks
on,
about
wait,
15
wait.
years ago. We found that they weren't ideal for really expensive to build. If they cracked, it was a major repair because you had to cut it out, pull it out. It was a whole multi-day process. And so we built a couple asphalt pump tracks just to test that out. And what ended up happening is they exploded. The reason asphalt pump tracks exist is because we had invented them as a trial thing to see what would happen. And then bikers loved them because it gripped really well. Scooters and skateboards loved them because we use a very fine asphalt mix, not like a road mix. And it's half the cost of concrete. So the maintenance on it is lower. It's more pliable to the earth. You know, if a crack pops up, you can heat it up and those oils are still malleable. So that's why asphalt 9 out of 10 times is going to be the right thing. But we have built more concrete pump tracks than anyone else in the world. Hundreds of dirt pump tracks and hundreds of asphalt pump tracks. So we can provide any option. What we would
We've done a
recommend.
lot of cities around us, a lot of an asphalt. How's that hold up with snow and freezing temperatures? Because we resurface our roads out here quite often.
Yes, they held up really well. So
So they don't last too long, do they?
no, they, like Dalton said, we created maybe the first one over 15 years ago. And
Okay.
they've been holding up really well. So even in like parts like Leadville, Colorado, which is the highest altitude municipality in the country. Yeah, so we have an asphalt pump track up there. Holds up really well. And like Dalton said, like within 5 to 7 years, you can still heat up that asphalt. And it's a thinner, finer grain, so it's better for all wheel types.
Do you recommend like a starter kit for us or something that initially to get off the ground or and expand from that?
Yeah, so like a starter pump track would probably be like a modular type thing. And I had talked with Rocky about that. That's what we had applied for last year for I don't know if it was the Quality of Life or Trails Plus, but that would be kind of a starter kit for what would become an asphalt pump track. But if you're asking more about like what a starter kit of getting that off the ground would be, then obviously grants and getting a grant going into our design services. Could be kind of the first step for that.
All right.
So are you thinking like you could start with dirt and then as more money becomes available, turn it asphalt? Is that what your thought is?
Well, I just thinking if there's some sort of starter kit as far as asphalt, yeah, maybe not as large as some of these other ones he's developing, but
Yeah, and we build them as small as 3,000 square feet. But I would say the average asphalt pump track is between 8 and 12,000 square feet. And
roughly the cost of that would be.
I would say the rough cost is about $500,000, it's about 500K. Yeah.
But that being said, there's a lot of nuance in what gets designed, what gets built, and what cost estimates. So really, it depends on you guys' goals and what you're wanting to get out of a track.
And I know community output was a big goal of what I heard from Matilda. And with an asphalt pump track that's larger than 10,000 square feet, then you can start hosting events, championship races, and just having like a race here would bring in a large amount of economic output. And we saw that in Erie, Colorado, where they hosted the UCI championship qualifier races last year. And just from the one-day event, the town, they brought in between 400 and 500K, just from people heads in beds, spending money at gas stations, spending money at the event. Yeah. But, and I have a slide.
Where was that at?
on that. That was in Erie, Colorado.
Here, can you go over to the next one?
For example, if you play this, this is, it was previously known as the Red Bull Pump Track Championship races, which all of those were held exclusively on our tracks. But now it's the UCI, so the Worldwide Union Cyclists International. They cover the race system now. For example, this year, in May, it went back to Erie, Colorado, and then in June, it went to Rockland, California, and then in August, we're gonna have a race in our hometown of Joplin, Missouri. So we're super excited about that because we just opened up the largest public bike park in the state of Missouri at 90 acres. It has a bicycle playground, it's got asphalt jump lines, it has downhill courses and cross-country courses, and yeah, it's an awesome park, and about like 5 miles away from our headquarters still.
There was a data center.
We're fighting.
But yeah, for example, here's a quote from Luke Bollinger. He's the Parks and Rec director for Erie, Colorado, and that's the track right there in the background. But yeah, the amount of people that came to the one-day event, spending money in town at the event, heads in beds, at gas stations, at restaurants, they calculated between 407,000 and 501,000 from their economic output from that one-day trial. And we're actually, yeah, that's one day. Wow. And that was the national qualifier race. So there was 4 races in the United States, all held on our tracks. And I believe it was the champion of the race, they get a ticket to go to Beijing to race in China. But we're actually doing a national race here in the United States. And I believe Albuquerque is going to be hosting one of those races. I don't know if there's any other New Mexico tracks that are going to be hosting.
Albuquerque's hosting first, yeah. But we have lots of race circuits, I guess, on these is the point. You know, we're the biggest whenever it comes to asphalt pump tracks. We're the ones that invented them, so the quality between us and a trail company learning to build them is just night and day. So UCI, the governing body for all of mountain biking, BMX, the Olympics, host pump track races exclusively on our pump tracks. And so because of that, we're able to, you know, chat with folks and get what their economic output is on hosting these races, which you can host every year, whether it's an international one like Erie, where the riders are competing across the world, a national one where you're competing with Idaho and Utah and all these other states, or even a state-centric one. We're developing one right now with a partner of ours in Santa Rosa to do just a New Mexico racer, because we have 10 pump tracks in state and 4 more on the way.
So all of New Mexico.
Yeah, it would be- It'd be a great idea to have a UCI qualified track in Angel Fire.
What's the size of this one?
The size of Erie?
Yeah.
The size of Erie, it's above 10,000 square feet. I want to say it's closer to 20,000 square feet.
Yeah.
Because it has a kids track over on the right-hand side, if you can see it. So we also make these adaptive for adaptive use. So either having a track for kids or having it for adaptive riders, so wheelchairs, people on 3-wheel cycles. If you go to a couple slides, there's an example of a track that we did in Port Angeles, Washington, where it's almost completely
One more.
adapted.
There you go.
Right here.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Dalton, you might be able to speak on it just a little better.
So this is a track that we built with the community and they had a very specific goal. They wanted to have the first adaptive use asphalt pump track in the country. And so we designed our main Vela Solutions pump track here with big rollers, a bowl, wall ride, all the fun stuff. And then over here, we designed an adaptive track that was great for adaptive riders for 3-wheeled cycles. There's a local here that worked on the project with us that was completely paralyzed from the waist down. The only way he could ride was by blowing through a straw. Oh yeah, there he is. Yeah, so when we were able to build those 2 tracks, again, it was the first one in the United States and it brought in hundreds of people and still does because this is the only asphalt pump track in Washington or on the West Coast that has an adaptive track right next to it. So we're constantly trying to improve and innovate, grow the sport, grow the industry. That's one of the ways that we're doing that. And we can talk about it a little bit more on the grant section, but a huge amount of that park was paid for by in-kind work, not money, but by people providing asphalt, people providing aggregate, running wheelbarrows. Somebody owned an Airbnb in town and put the guys up in there. They saved hundreds of thousands of dollars because we designed it out and then we're able to go into the estimate and pull line items that that community could take on. They fed our guys for months and then we were able to put a monetary value on that, what they saved.
Which we should have a lot of in-kind contributions based off of the outreach that we've done thus far.
That's why we want to design something.
Yeah, I
like
think we have, from what Joshua Harris on the committee's been found with the contractors, that I think in-kind earth moving equipment is, there's people ready to go and help perfect. As soon as they stop building stuff and the season slows down, but you know, it's, didn't get them to do anything. On the other, you mentioned, you know, Cuesta, Taos, Eagle Nest, Red River, all having or planning, are any of those thinking big 10,000 square foot plus?
Almost everyone.
Everyone is.
Yeah, well, Red River, that's a smaller pump track, so they wouldn't be hosting a national wildfire race. But the in-state New Mexico race that our contact Eli Quinn is planning on developing, that would also be a location, that race there.
But yeah, as far as hosting the big international race, Cuesta's track is small, Taos's track is small, but that's because they're not wanting to do that. They're wanting to just have a small local regional park because they're not Angel Fire, right? Their goal with their skate park or their bike park or their pump track isn't tourism and economic growth and development and event hosting. It's everybody else has a pump track, we want a pump track, and it stays there. But with you guys, you are a huge tourism sector, your name brand. Say if you ask any person to name 3 towns in New Mexico, they'd say probably like Albuquerque, Las Cruces, Angel Fire. So
Santa Fe might come in.
maybe Santa Fe, yeah. Throw out Las Cruces.
So when you say a
Ciao.
10,000 square foot track, that's the square footage of the track itself,
It's the perimeter,
the
actually.
perimeter, so
Yeah.
the perimeter is,
Yep, the perimeter of the asphalt would be 10,000 square feet.
okay.
But you need a larger footprint for that.
Yeah, okay,
because
that's
the
what
outer
I'm saying,
slopes-
visualize
Exactly.
footprint versus, so a 10,000 foot track, what would be the footprint size for something like that?
I would say 15 to 17.
Yeah, our outslopes are 3 to 1. So if you think we got a 10,000 square foot pump track and it's going out 3
Go
feet.
back a little bit.
Yeah.
There's a couple of examples. We
That
can
was
take a
what
look
I
at
was
those.
here to see.
Back. Yeah, here we go. One forward.
This is the Erie.
Holy, this is blurry. Yeah. So you can see the,
Clear one up there.
oh, okay. So yeah, the track itself is 20,000 square feet, but then when you go to the outslopes, right? So we can't just have it drop off. That's where you get the full total size of what everything is.
So an average cost, yeah, 400 to 500K would get you an asphalt pump track. That would be 10,000 square feet. But I would recommend something a little higher than that just to cut down on maintenance. So putting asphalt on the outer slopes as well as the inner slopes to cut down on that. Also, if you guys are looking to put any features within it or any seating or shelters, so the 400 to 500K for an asphalt pump track. Yeah, that's a number that you could use, but it depends on what your maintenance team is like, how many people are going to be servicing this track, and if you guys do want to host events. as well.
Are these slopes typically asphalt or are they grass or astroturf or what are they?
What level of maintenance are you guys looking for on this?
Say minimal.
Okay, so.
Yeah, I think it's the resources the village has to do it, so it'd be.
Sagebrush.
Understood.
Yeah, sagebrush.
I mean, I was gonna say artificial turf, yeah. Yeah, so there are a couple things that impact costs, right? 400 to 500 is, you would get an asphalt pump track that size with no wall rides, no landscaping, anything like that. And what I'm hearing is you guys want something that is inclusive to everybody, that's all wheels friendly, that has economic impact, and that is low maintenance. So in that case, you would want something more like Erie, where it's large, where it's got kids track right here, this little boomerang. Those are smaller than the rest of the track, where instead of dirt out slopes, which is what Albuquerque did, because they thought that they could have their public works take care of that and save some money.
Maybe go back a couple of slides, there's a couple other examples that we could look at.
Yeah, so we can do
A couple of other,
artificial turf
one more,
on the out slopes.
yeah, right there.
And that holds up really well. The Leadville track has artificial turf on the out slopes because it doesn't have to be irrigated, it doesn't have to be mowed. You don't have to worry about public works going out there with a weed eater and accidentally chipping away at the asphalt, anything like that.
So we found the most success with artificial turf, most definitely.
There's a bunch available right back here, I think.
It's all fields.
If you've got a field not used, we can take it off your
Now, we
softball.
have a brand new, really cool, outdoor amphitheater I just got put in there.
Oh, yeah, sweet.
What type of warranty do you typically have for an asphalt?
It's a year warranty, so that's industry standard. That's going to be the exact same on concrete as well, is a year.
But that being said, obviously we want to keep our tracks in good shape. And so if we've got guys running around New Mexico building new ones and it's, hey, we need to swing up to Angel Fire for half a day because it's 7 years old and we need to do, 3 hours worth of patching, then we can quote it out. Or if we're in the area, we're happy to swing by and just check case by case. Because
So do you do training for public works staff on how to do the resurfacing or improvements? I mean, is that?
Yeah, whenever-
For that.
Yeah.
Service to the village staff as part of the.
For sure.
Do they usually need to recode them like the first couple years?
we don't seal coat them. It rides a little bit better when you don't do that. But over time, if you're wanting to just put an extra layer of protection on it, seal coating it isn't gonna do much of any detriment. And we've seen, communities do that after about 5 or 6 years. And that being said, if you guys want to check out any of our tracks, we've got some in Utah that are 10+ years old, so you can see from start to finish how they age. Also, our build methods have updated a lot since then. So tracks that we built 10 years ago, we were using a dirt sub base. It was a little bit cheaper, it was helping people save money, but that dirt would inevitably settle and then the tracks start to crack. So now we build them all out of an aggregate base that is compacted, it's built with a really fine mix. And so the tracks that we're building now have a longer lifespan than the tracks that we built 10 years ago. And hopefully in 10 years, the tracks we're building then will live even longer.
That's why they're top quality.
So do you source your materials locally if you can, or do you truck them in for more
sure.
special?
Yeah, we can source it locally.
Because it sounds like you need a special kind of asphalt, like special dirt to build it up and everything. I mean, is that hard to find in a lot of locales or
I mean,
does that normally work?
I think the most remote build that we did in New Mexico was in Penasco, and we were able to find that asphalt. We were just having to haul it from a good ways away, but we source it all locally. So the asphalt milling, so we go to an asphalt mill, we take a recipe, we say, hey, we need X quantity, how much is that gonna cost? Same with aggregate, or if we need a rock, we go to a quarry. But I don't think we'd be in business if we were hauling asphalt from Missouri.
They can generally meet your specifications.
Yes, yes.
So even in Santa Rosa recently, when we finished that last year, I think we were hauling the asphalt from Albuquerque for that specific job.
Because they just couldn't do it.
Yeah, they didn't have it there.
And we don't want to sacrifice build quality.
Yeah, and they were trying to get it done before the winter season. And you like to build the asphalt pump tracks with at least I don't know if it's a 6 to 8 hour time frame of temperatures above 50 degrees. So we like to have that as well. I know in Santa Rosa, we were trying to get it done right before the winter season, so we were rushing to get it done. And there were some maintenance things on that track that we had to come back and fix. But that wasn't on the city. Yeah.
So y'all Go ahead, Chairman. Y'all have a, asphalt track that we could look at that's at 8,600 feet.
What's the elevation of Leadville?
Leadville,
10,000.
It's higher than that's 10,000, it's about 9,000 and change.
Yeah.
I mean, almost 10,000. So you have one in Leadville?
Yep. It's about 3 years old.
About 3 years
Take
old.
us up there.
Hey, you guys wanna take a field trip? We brought a Jeep.
Big trip.
We might even get there by
Maybe
tomorrow.
retention.
Because I'll tell you, our roads up here, it's recommended that they get a treatment every 2 years now. We don't always do that because we can't afford it, but it is recommended, and when we don't, the wear and tear on the road, you see it. It's rare to have an asphalt road last 5 or 6 years up here if you don't treat it.
but the best part about these is bikes are going to be on it. We're not planning on big vehicles or heavy material being.
Well, Red River, you guys did Red River, right?
Yep, we did do Red River.
Holding up good.
Yeah, you guys.
Couple years old now.
How-
Yeah, it's just 3 years old now, right? 3 or 4? We built it in 21.
The bigger issue is the temperature swings that Leadville may not have those 50-degree temperature swings from minus 20 at night to 50 the next day,
Exactly.
which we have in the valley here. I don't even, Red River has those temperature swings, do they? So we have a different unique
Yeah.
weather condition here, environmental condition that may affect it differently.
In the ballpark though, I think.
Now,
I don't know, because I've
how's the
never,
altitude of Red River?
it's hard to know.
It's
But I
about,
think that's concern,
Okay.
it's a concern of this temperature.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
um,
yeah, hopefully.
the only thing about Red River is sun exposure. It's a lot less sun in the town than we do.
Now their pump track's in the shade. That helps at all.
Yeah.
Or if it makes it worse.
It's in the shade.
Yes.
You know, that's what I'm saying. That's a good thing because what eats up asphalt is sun.
Which we do have a lot of asphalt contracts in the desert. For example, I was just down in the village of Santa Clara, and that's pretty far south. It was built this year, but we'll see how that holds up. And we have
one in Chaparral from 2021.
Yeah, we have
Built
one.
in the middle of the desert.
one in Las Vegas that's built in the middle of the desert. That one's holding up well. They do have dirt on the outer slopes and inner islands, so we would definitely recommend that they look at 4 landscaping options for that.
In the desert, though, you're generally at a pretty low altitude. At high altitude sun is totally different than low altitude sun. And it's a high altitude sun with the huge swings in weather conditions that deteriorate asphalt up here because, you know, we can be minus 40 at night and 20 degrees during the day or 30 degrees during the
I
day.
didn't mention that until.
So when you add all that in and then the intensity of the sun, that's my only concern about asphalt is it tend up here, our experience. Now, if you have a different formula, that may make all the difference in the world. I don't know, but cement lasts longer than asphalt up here.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I
We
mean,
use
their
3
their asphalt mixture is probably gonna work great, and then too, there's not gonna be semi trucks and dump trucks and heavy equipment running on it either.
Yeah, I mean, we're not gonna have equipment, you know, dripping oil on it or dragging their chains on it or anything, but the overarching point is we've designed to build 200 plus of these, including 10 in your state and 4 more on the way. So with the amount of experience and our build team has and our design team has, you know, we'll be checking your weather. We'll be out here checking out on the pump track because we're out here 3 or 4 times a year. So this is a partnership. We want to work with you guys and build something really special because we're going to get a healthy amount of marketing value out of it if we do it well, we execute right, and this does become the destination you guys want it to. So we're going to make sure that that's well taken care of. The last thing we want is to, you know, tell communities, hey, go check out the pump track in Angel Fire, and they come up and it's cracked. We're going to make sure it's taken care of.
Can you do a combination of, I guess, a regular pump track and adaptive kind of together or separate a little bit?
Yeah.
So there's been a big push here is doing adaptive things for only skiing, but biking and trails. So,
Yeah, we can do both of those. We've got adaptive riders that we consult with when we design these parks. We follow all of the adaptive standards put out by IMBA, the International Mountain Biking Association. So we're very well versed in how to handle that and how to implement and make sure that it goes smoothly, that it rides correctly. And our builders understand exactly how they need to put all the specs and spaces and rollers and widths and things like that.
And that goes for asphalt pump tracks as well as our skate parks and as well as our bike parks as well, our bike features.
Okay.
But they showed an example of in Washington.
Yeah, but I didn't.
They were two separate, I think you were
Was it
asking.
two separate?
Integrated. Yeah, they're, yeah.
They were, but they can be integrated very easily.
Integrated.
Yeah.
As long as you
You
can
can go
still
a
host
couple
the
slides.
events on it.
Yeah, it would still have to be a specific size.
Here, go back to it.
This one, yeah. Go
It's
back.
different.
Oh, wait, yeah, here, go back one. Yeah, and then this was just a quick map of, the red dots are all the pump tracks we have existing that we've designed and constructed. The yellow dots are the ones that we're gonna contract to come build.
And the red dots also have our World Racing System embedded in the track. So it connects with your phone and it's gamified the riding experience. So this is the Bella Solutions World Racing System, and it tracks your laps, it tracks times, and there's competitions. So currently right now, our regional boss, he got first place in this June competition for riding the most amount of miles on an asphalt pump track. And there's a competition coming up where the more amount of Bella Solutions asphalt pump tracks that you visit, you'll get points for that. And the winner nationwide will get a ticket to the Beijing UCI championship race. So that'll be a male and a female that'll be going to that. But yeah, this is super fun with gamified riding experience, and it's making people go to our tracks all over the state.
You said it was your boss that won this?
Yeah, our boss, our original boss.
Was he getting paid while he was doing this?
No, he would go.
The opposite, he was leaving work.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he was there before work and after work, and
but a guy from Santa Clara came in second. And his name was Eli. He's a heck of a rider. Yeah, that's something fun that we're adding on to more of the tracks, and we put one on here too, so that if people are out vacationing or riding, they pull up their phone and see, oh, there's a pump track there, and the fastest time is 17 seconds. I'm gonna go see if I can beat that, or I want to go put a lap down on it. So just one more thing to funnel people to the pump track.
yeah. But if you guys, any more questions on pump tracks before we get into bike parks? And we can also move quicker if needed. I don't know what time it is as well.
We have about a half hour, a little under a half hour.
Okay.
Conversation. I think we're having the conversations go along, but.
But this will cut down on
Yeah,
the question.
let me check in with our virtual audience. Any questions or comments out there from the online audience? Okay,
I think we knocked him dead. All right.
Perfect. But bike parks as well. We also do bike parks. Like we said, we do everything action with a sports flex. But a bike park can include an asphalt pump track. It can include a precast pump track, concrete pump track, a bicycle playground, perimeter trails, downhill courses, jump lines. There's a lot that goes into a bike park, but we can do all of it. We can do the trail work, we can do the grading, we do the features that go into them. And I think the next slide actually shows a little bit of that. But no, this is talking about Chico, which is kind of the goal, the ideal bike park if you were going to do one. This is, Dalton, how much was Chico and what's all going into it?
So this is the biggest bike park we're currently constructing that we've ever built. The contract value was, I think, 3.8 million.
3.8.
But the goal was they wanted the biggest bike park, the best bike park, only best in class on all of it. And so, it's got, hop up here. So it's got drop-ins for advanced jump lines, for intermediate
Yeah.
jump lines, beginning jump lines. All of this is
Yeah.
asphalt with our, what?
See 'em?
What? See him? Sam? Zimbabwe? I don't know. Anyway, huge asphalt pump track over here. The entire bike park is gonna be asphalt surface. There's gonna be a lot of nice landscaping that goes around it, but the point is they put out a bid just to see, what all was offered out there in the biking world. And so we showed them everything that our firm can do, everything we're working on, and they pulled us in to do the biggest contract we've ever worked on. Yeah, fun stuff.
And this is a project that we recently did in Vernal, which has a dinosaur theme. But yeah, this is a hybrid park, and it was something that Dalton was working on as well. But there's a specialty feature that was made by our alt line design crew. And we'll get into that later, but this has pretty much every aspect of a all wheels park. You guys were looking for something like that, but yeah, go on. And here's some actual images of mid-build photos as well as the grand opening event, which was awesome. Dalton, did you end up attending that?
No, I did. They had about 400 people turn out for it. The busiest thing, which is really funny, is their kids' bicycle playground down there, that little, in the top picture, bottom left corner. That was more full than their skate park and their pump track and their jump lines, because they had a good 100 kids turn out on their balance bikes, their little scooters, the like 3-wheeled scooter with 2 wheels in the front. They flooded that thing. So this was a great all-wheels park. We designed it, went after a grant, won the grant, came out and turnkey built the entire project. The only thing we didn't do is that landscaping. Don't judge all that turf. They spent $1 million on turf, and that is way overkill. This thing looks like a really intense golf course. We told them plant some trees, plant some grass, make it pretty. I went all turf, whole way. Yeah, fun project.
Just made a comment about going after grant money. Do you filing or grant writing?
We can help in the grant process. So yeah, we decide on grants that are currently open and some examples of communities that we've helped with grants as well. I mean, one off the top of my head is the Village of Santa Clara, which we had a grand opening for in June. But they won 2 grants. They won the Destination Forward grant for 150K, and then they won the Quality of Life grant for 600K. So that ended up being a 750K asphalt pump track as well as a bicycle playground that just opened to the public last month.
And we designed and pursued and worked on the grant with them, set them up, helped with the applications, and then whenever it all awarded, we used our contracting arm, our design team to get it all taken care of, and went out and built it.
And that was a design build. So there's kind of a couple different options, either designing it first and then looking for funds, or doing a design build altogether. And that was a design build. This is another example of a project that we did in Denver, Colorado. This just shows that we can also do a bike park in dirt. We can do it in asphalt. Yeah, and this is a really fun park. But with the maintenance on this, the city/county of Denver, Colorado, they are looking to asphalt this bike park. That's very common with our dirt bike parks, just to minimize maintenance. Next slide. And then this is the rail yard in Rogers, Arkansas. So you can see in the center of the screen, there's a train car that you actually ride through. We were here I think it was May or June, so we took our team down here. And this is a really fun park. But yes, this was another example of doing it in dirt first and then coming back and laying the asphalt to minimize maintenance. And yeah, just a cool theming that we do as well. And taking specific features or something that you have around town and putting it into the bike park so people know, oh, that's Angel Fire.
Yeah. I'll say dirt to asphalt is not the ideal scenario. Ideally, you build the bike park and design the bike park in asphalt right out of the get-go. Because when you upgrade a dirt park to asphalt, it rides totally different. You're going way faster, you use less energy, you're berming faster. And so this park was only fully open to the public 2% of the year. And the other 98%, one of the lines or all the lines were closed because of rain, because of maintenance, because the dirt was too much to take care of. And so after we built a multi-million-dollar bike park, they had to do a $700,000 future phase for us to come and basically correct it and finish it, because the dirt was just way more than they could handle. This was Rogers, Arkansas, where they have Walton money.
Yeah, and this is progressive as well. So there's a beginner line, which is super fun and it flows really well. And then there's a intermediate line, which takes you through the train car. And then there's an advanced line, which you're actually doing mandatory gaps and big jumps.
Maybe Patrick can get us like 10 lift chairs, put it around, people can sit on.
You can sell them.
Cha-ching.
Down.
You can go next.
69, you're making such.
And I'll talk about this park real quick, just because we're on site building it right now. This mountain bike park in Laramie, Wyoming, same deal as you guys. They wanted a destination bike park. They had a limited amount of funds. And so they had a couple local riders, local trail builders. They were saying, oh yeah, we'd love to work on this. We can build the entire thing. But the local trail guys they were talking to didn't have any bonding capacity. They had never built an asphalt pump track. They had done some downhill trails. They'd never built a ramp. They'd never fabricated anything. And so we came to the city and told them, hey, if you want your locals to work on this, we're not going to kick the door down and tell everybody to get out. We'd love to work with them. And so we brought their local trail builders onto our team and we subbed them in to do what they were good at, which is downhill dirt trails. So this this image right here, those guys are on site right now and we're partners working on multiple projects as a result. Because they brought that local element, that local aspect, and the community really wanted that. And we came in and did what we're best at, which is design an asphalt pump track, made sure it's got that timing system in it. It's eligible to host world and national races and have economic output, that we're gonna fabricate all these features because we have thousands of ramps across the country and millions of dollars in professional and product liability. But we still wanted to work with those local advocates. And so that's just an example of that, because I know you guys have, you know, some local folks that are wanting to help out and want to get involved, want to build, but maybe don't have either the experience, the insurance, you don't know what their park's gonna look like in 10 years because they haven't built one yet. You can see one of our parks that's 10 years old. So we want to help, we want to work with people whenever it comes to doing something of this magnitude. Any questions on that?
No, I think a clarification for all this, so we have one hell of a good bike park in this town, that's what this town knows.
Oh, yeah.
So I think, we all realize that the piece they're missing is when the lifts close at 4 and they still want to ride, what do they do?
Well, and having a pump track event.
Right, and if they can't ride, if they're not gonna be cross-country riders with the green belt, then they're gonna wanna go to the pump track. So I think the missing element in here is not so much jump lines and that sort of thing, but it's those activities that you can do before you go on the mountain or after the mountain,
Yeah.
and way to get there. Because I think we wanna compete with, what the resorts doing with downhill operation. We just need to complement that. And I think that's why ski park can complement, and that's what I think the pump track and maybe a kid's skill park can complement. You have a skills park there as well.
Yeah, but it's.
Yeah, so more of a little skills area might be the rail ride or the rollers.
Yeah, I think of the bicycle playground.
Yeah, like playground kind of ideas. And I think that's where most of us coming from, is how do we complement what is offered a year?
Sure.
Um,
And to be fair, a bike park has hundreds of jumps, but it's not a fair jump.
right.
There's a big difference there between a bike park, mountain bike jump.
And a bike park, right?
Yeah, because what you guys have is a downhill trail centric gravity fed mountain bike park, right?
Their lips are just not as steep, and if they are, they're massive.
Yeah. So,
It's not like you don't get that hang time and nose in, that's a proper dirt jump. It's nice and built.
so that's what we would like to suggest is doing something more at that kind of flat, more hub area where people can ride anytime and enjoy it. Doesn't have to be closed or anything like that. And it's not downhill mountain biking. You guys have that name.
And it's complementing your guys' bike park, of course. But features that we put into our bike parks or bike skills courses, these are PBR features. So these are wooden planks, Eastern red cedar planks on top of an all steel system that has a 10-year warranty. And this is going to be what you see at the bike parks and what you're riding on, and that's calculated and cut to exact dimensions. And if you go to the next slide, you can see a little bit. You can see a video of some of our features. If you click on that. This is a project in Costa Rica, but this is kind of like a bike skills course that maybe you guys would put, or the features that you would put on your perimeter trail or at a bicycle playground for kids, like a little hub along the perimeter trail. But yeah,
So those look like
10-year
BMX bikes. Do you use actually downhill bikes on these things?
yeah, you can use mountain bikes or, yeah,
Downhill bike, I don't know if I'd have mine on that thing. I'd rather use my cross-country bike than downhill bike.
Yeah, the suspension's nice on some of those features, especially if you hit a drop. It
Yeah.
feels nice to have that little cushion under you.
sure. You can go to the next slide. But we also do custom we do custom features with our alt line design team, Seth. He does features all over the country that are, like I said, custom and sometimes wood on wood builds. And for example, there on the left-hand corner is the shred shed. And that's a feature that you can either bike on the roof or ride through the shed. And even on our example on the Vernal, Utah, all wheels park, there was a specific feature that had a crazy curve to it that was specifically custom to that site. And we also have done snake heads where you shoot out from the tongue, and we've done all types of really creative stuff with Seth.
Yeah.
And just to let people know, oh, this is Angel Fire's bike park, this is Angel Fire's skills course or whatnot.
And And also something that comes with him is he's a content creator, he's a YouTuber, he's an Instagrammer, so he's got millions of people that watch his videos because he builds these crazy features, and he makes a full 15-20 minute video about each one while he's on site, how he's fabbing it, how the project's going, riding around the park in the meantime. And then he uploads all of them, and that video is marketing content for your park. So the Shred Shed, that video has hundreds of thousands of views because people have never seen anything like that before. So we would pull him into this project because you guys are unique. It's going to be a destination. You want to have as many eyeballs on it as possible. So that's something that will come with, you know, us being able to work with you guys and design out a pump track and a bicycle playground to complement that.
Attila, how are we doing on time?
We got 15 left, and
15
I think
minutes,
we want to talk about, definitely talk about contracting and how
For sure.
Yeah,
we
let's
would
go.
work with the village.
A couple we'll go through.
Yeah,
Just a
let's
little-
go bike playground, go back a little.
Yeah, go back, just a little quick hit on bicycle playgrounds is, like I said, they're for kids 3 to 12. There's a lot of common features within them, like tubes, rings, slalom cones. They're going to have our PBR features that are really similar to our bike parks, but they're lower to the ground, they're wider, and just helping kids gain confidence, gain balance on a bike skills course. But yeah, this is an example that we did in Harriman that Dalton had mentioned earlier, that they had a mining theme. So there's like gears in the park, if you see on that right hand picture, and there's a lot of custom features going into this park. But yeah, go on. But this could be something that we do here as well to complement the existing bike park, complement the perimeter trail, complement the skate park, complement the asphalt pump track. And even like this custom feature, this we put 3 tubes together or tunnels, and we made this train cart.
You'll make that whole thing, you'll design
Yeah,
it?
it's super fun. And that's the great thing about bicycle playgrounds is you can get really creative, you can get really playful with these. And yeah, they're great. But yeah, go on.
Yeah, and we're not buying any of those from a third party or anything. We are the manufacturers for all that.
Mhm.
We can skip this segment. Yeah.
So we don't want to Arkansas.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can go back a little bit. Yeah. But yeah, typically the first step in this, like I had mentioned, is going through our concept design services. So depending on the size of the build, depends on what the scope of that looks like. But it typically involves community engagement, if you guys desire that, online surveys, in-person community engagement. For example, here, it looks like we're at the same place. That just happens to be 3 or 4 different parks and rec facilities that have that same floor. But one of them.
Thank you for having a different floor.
Yeah, we can do community engagement. You're getting a 2D and 3D design that you can put towards grants, showing the grant that you've already put funds into this and that you've talked to the community about what they want, which puts you miles ahead of your, against your.
Fellow applicants.
Exactly.
Y'all could work off of a survey, like if we were saying we wanted 150 by 150, I think it's 30,000 footprint. Y'all could take like this survey and like put it on that survey to show where, how much that it's gonna encompass.
We would need some more site information than an outline, but yes, so we're taking topography scans, geotechnical surveys, we're checking the utility map. You know, if you give us an outline and tell us what to do, what to roughly design, how to play within that space, we're gonna build you something awesome. And this is an example of that online community survey, and we just ask a lot of questions, make sure we get the right answers so that we know how to design a park, but also so that whenever you go to the Trails Plus, Carl Colonius, any of those guys, you can show that, hey, this isn't just Attila's pet projects. He thinks pump tracks are cool. This is something that the community's asked for. Hundreds of people filled this out. They're local. Here are their wheel choices. All that stuff looks fantastic on a grant application.
Exactly.
So on that note, just to point out to you guys, we did a community survey for the Allen Fields, and it was done through Consensus Planning Network. There was 200 responses in the village about Allen Fields, which is that's more than 10% of our community. So that was a huge turnout for that. And then a few social media posts that Joshua Harris has done about pump tracks has generated a whole lot of comments and positive interactions. I think we'd have successful, and Oliver's work with the skate park thing, we'd have a successful community engagement on this. But for sure.
Yeah, we can, I mean, we could give Ken a holler and get that if we ended up moving forward on this.
Ken's not here, is he? Ken's not here, right? From consensus?
Yeah,
Okay.
I think actually, from consensus was online.
Okay, I thought I recognized her name. Yeah, we're designing a bicycle playground in Albuquerque together right now.
But yeah, you go on to the next slide. And this is gonna talk about some of the grants that, we've been helping different communities go after and fund, but
Yeah, for the sake of time, we won't dive into all of them, but yeah, we've worked with almost every grant agency in the state to fund these projects. So we know them, we have a relationship with them. We meet with them once a year to understand their scoring criteria, what they want to see in applicants, who they want to see apply. And then we tailor our design process, we tailor our community engagement process, all of that around their specific scoring criteria. Make sure we're setting you guys up for success as much as possible. And so some of them have matching requirements, right? Trails Plus has a 1 to 2, a 35% match. And in our design process, we're able to go through and identify, kind of like that Port Angeles, Washington project. Okay, if Attila wants to hop in a skid steer and go grade the site, that saves us $10,000. And we put that in the match bucket and lower our price. And if you want to go landscape it yourself, or if somebody owns an Airbnb and wants to put the guys up, and so we can get our costs down, and we can also put a monetary value on all those items you all can provide and stack those up so that when you go to that grant, you don't have to bring $300,000 in cash. You can bring $150,000 in cash and $150,000 in in-kind. And in-kind looks better on a grant application than cash or CIP does, because it shows you guys have sweat equity, your community cares, it's something you're really passionate about.
So do you have staff that are devoted to working with the paper process, the grant process, or do you have a project
You're looking
manager?
at,
yeah, it's us.
You two.
yeah,
It's us.
we do that.
So you guys are so there'd be if Angel Parks would go, there'd be a project manager assigned to that, it'd be one of you two that's a project manager, or would you have someone else? And that person also knows the whole grant process, or that's, you guys are really dialed in on Mexico.
Yeah.
We're involved in the entire process. So we're the project developers and we're on the ride with you the whole way. So there's gonna be a design manager that goes through that and we're in there with you. There's gonna be if we do construction documents, a construction document manager, a construction project manager. And we're on that ride the whole time so that we can make sure we're tailoring around those grants. We're doing exactly what the community asked for, what you guys are wanting to do. Otherwise, we just let the designers go loose and they design you a wild park, but it might not get funded.
I think you said you guys are the Intermountain Region representatives? Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, so we cover New Mexico, Colorado, everything in mountainside stuff,
You can go there.
including Nevada and Alaska, but excluding Arizona. Yeah.
All right, Santa Clara.
And this is an example of the village of Santa Clara. That's the grand opening, the bicycle playground as well as their asphalt track. But yeah, we can go on.
Yeah, that was solely funded by grants.
Mhm.
And I'll talk about this really briefly because we're pressed for time. This is Sourcewell. It's a purchasing cooperative, a national government organization. You guys are a member of Sourcewell. Have any of you used it or familiar with it in the past?
Rocky maybe, but we wouldn't do it.
Okay. Well, anyway, it's a purchasing cooperative, so it fulfills all your RFP, RFQ requirements, because we are also members of it. So it is a government agency where they put out a bid for everything under the sun about every 4 or 5 years. So everything from rentals to playgrounds to splash pads to what we do. And every firm in the municipal world submits on them. They rank those firms and say, okay, you scored the highest, you are awarded a Sourcewell contract. Anyone in the United States can purchase from you and use the bid that you completed and our scoring criteria as their fulfillment. So we looked, Angel Fire is a member. I don't know what you guys have used it for in the past, but somebody used it for something. And so I'm sure you all love working on bids and RFPs as much as me and Lucas love responding to bids and RFPs. But if we're able to move forward on anything, we can use this because it fulfills all of your bidding requirements. More importantly, it comes with an 8% discount because it saves us a heck of a lot of time on bid. I want to touch on that briefly.
And here's a list of communities.
Oh, yeah.
That we've contracted with for design build using Sourcewell within the state of New Mexico. And that's just growing every day. But, yeah.
So that essentially then eliminates the need for the community to go out to RFP for find 6 pump track vendors to bid on something.
Exactly. And for your goals, truly, there isn't anybody else that can do this. Nobody else hosts the UCI races. Nobody else has tracks at the elevations, at the weather levels that we do. Nobody has the years of, like the nearest firm to us has maybe 20 pump tracks under their belt. And we've got 800. So there's going to be a night and day difference between what you think you're getting versus what you actually get. If you go out to bid and pick low bid or even pick the third lowest bidder, I mean, we're a decade ahead of anyone else that's trying to do these. They also can't host the races. They can't put in a timing system.
Who is number two?
It's split. There's a company called, Pump Tracks USA, and they build dirt pump tracks and then put asphalt around them. And they were a trail company that are, coming up. But from them to us, they started building pump tracks, 4 or 5 years ago. We started building them 15 years ago. So, and if you got a track from them or anybody else, it wouldn't be able to host a UCI race or a national race or a Red Bull event. And it wouldn't have that timing system in it or an app that sends people to your pump track.
Sound like it'd be cheaper, but less quality.
For sure.
Yeah, and some people want that, but I don't think Angel Fire would want that. You guys are a name brand tourist destination. If you had the worst pump track in the state, it'd be kind of embarrassing.
I'll definitely recommend if you do pump tracks like theirs, yeah, definitely check out ours compared to theirs because it's a drastic difference.
Well, and you said they can't certify a track.
No, they're not UCI certified. They tried, they didn't get the certification because their quality wasn't there and they didn't have as many tracks. So we're still exclusive with.
But
unions.
UCI Red Bulls have to be UCI certified too, right? The Red Bull events.
That event that was a Red Bull was the title sponsor. It's now switched to UCI. They put their name on it and they're the governing body. But in the past, we've had the Walton Family Foundation be the title sponsor of a race.
Yeah.
So it just varies from year to year.
So the normal process is, you do probably a design contract first and get a design.
Typically, yeah,
Then you would go out and try to get a grant.
yep.
So what's the cost of the design?
So.
Say on $500,000 project, what would the design contract typically be?
For $500,000, it would be 14,500.
Okay, so it's not.
Yep. And then obviously as that goes up, so $1 million contract or $1 million bill would be a design at about 30K. And then 2 million, obviously 60K.
And a professional recommendation would be if y'all are wanting to do what it sounds like you're wanting to do, then I would say 500 is probably the lowest you could possibly go. And it would still be a higher maintenance track because we would be able to do turf. If we recommend anything, it'd be go for $750,000 to $800,000. So you can have a kids track, you can have a main track, it can be artificial turf, it can be large enough to host those events. And if you're doing a Trails Plus application, a 2-to-1 match, then you'd only have to come up with $250,000 to apply for that. And of that, half of it, we can find through in-kind donation. So I would recommend shooting higher on the budget just so that you don't end up with something small or something you guys are gonna have to take care of a lot more than you'd like to.
So you think an ideal budget would be what you said, like
$750,000. Yeah.
If we started with design and then went to the build process, of course, that would have to be in summer, spring. How long does that typically take or how far out are you on them?
I would say we're about 9 to 12 months out on our build of asphalt pump tracks. Yeah,
to start a build or to?
yeah, to start a build.
Okay, so if the village is real interested, wanted to get going today, but to do the design, grant application, get on your schedule for the build and get it done, what do you, looks like sound 2 years or something?
No, we could get it completed. Like if you guys got funded by the end of this year and contracted with us, we could probably get it completed by the end of next summer.
Oh, yeah. So there's a grant application open right now for Trails Plus, which you're probably aware of. That's due September 30th. They have $12 million to give away. You have to match it at 1 to 2. And so it takes us, 2 to 3 months to design a track. To hit your grant deadline, if we were able to contract quickly, we could design a track and have your takeoffs ready by the second to last week of September. Put in a grant application. That would award late October, mid-November. Then we would be able to contract, assuming you win, which I would be shocked if you didn't. They're giving away a lot more money this year than usual.
So last year, Michelle was on Richmond office.
Yeah, well, that and the guy that administered that grant was tired of doing 3 cycles a year, so he just put it all down to 1 and then put all the money in the pot. But anyway, we could fit you all into, on that timeline, our summer 2027 schedule.
And
It'd
there's
be
always,
summer to fall.
there's always spots that open up as well. If we need to push you higher or further down the line, we can do that.
Question about the events, the UCI, and to previous races. Do they bring their own team in and host these events instead of part of the village? And who's doing these events? Who's organizing this?
Yeah, they work collaboratively with the village. So they have an event planner, they have a race manager, they have a timing system manager. There's no funds needed from the village. The only thing that they require is just put their guys up in a hotel for 3 days while they're out. But everything else is provided. So those guys come with it. You know, you use your own infrastructure like bleachers, you already have parking, PA systems and everything, but there's not a must pay $10,000 to host a race. It's very minimal.
And
And-
you're going for a bid to get picked for this event?
Yeah, there's not a tricky process.
You submit a proposal.
Yeah, for the world events, national ones. The New Mexico event that is being developed, if you guys had an asphalt pump track, you would most likely.
We would
Yeah.
probably call you and say, do you want to host a race?
Have you done that, Patrick, in some of your races?
But if you guys want to see one, the next one that's upcoming is in Joplin, Missouri, August. So if you guys want a reason to travel up Route 66, come visit us.
We'll ask the village to make us go.
Yeah.
Tornadoes are?
Yeah, exactly. That's where the Waltons are too.
Yeah.
We're out of tornado season.
Yeah, that's great.
Other questions? Virtual audience questions, Josh? Rocky? Ashley? Can you put it back on screen?
Is Rocky still there?
Yes.
That's fine.
Yeah, no, that sounds
I'm
fantastic.
still here. I
was
guess I
just-
I like the idea of using SourceWise rather than going through procurement.
No, and to throw out some numbers real quick, so we talked about that 3% being the design fee. On a $750,000 track design, your 3% would be $22,500. But if we get to use that purchasing cooperative and get the 8% discount, your total to design a track is $20,700. And then ideally, that wins you $500,000 from a grant and helps you find 125 in match.
Yeah, we need to get something on, we need to get some voting on that to get rolling on that.
If y'all want to vote, we can make up a contract. Actually, I think we brought one.
That's the-
No, we didn't, but
The council.
I get one created.
I think I have one in the car.
I mean, we're only an advisory committee, so, I mean, it has to, even if we're, it's gotta go to city council.
Right, all we can say is,
We can provide a recommendation.
Yeah,
But if you guys needed a contract for that city council meeting, we could get that created and send that over to you. And
all right, the more information they have, is there, what else would council need?
that's perfect.
I'm sorry, contracts?
Yeah,
They need to have a packet of some of these images that you saw that inspired you, like that.
it
We
would.
brought some big, thick packages if you need extras.
If you couldn't be here, maybe we could just get a time slot to have you do a Zoom.
Yeah, could we attend that virtually? Is that next
That's
Tuesday?
what- Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
No, it probably won't be the Tuesday meeting. That's already got a full
No,
agenda.
it's,
2 weeks from that.
yeah,
It's gonna be tight to hit that design deadline.
exactly.
I mean, it's possible. We'd be going breakneck fast.
Yeah,
But again, you guys aren't a normal New Mexico town that we work with. We want to really want to do this project, so we could make it go fast.
Well, I think the community engagement part of it could happen, as Ashley attested to with the stuff with consensus that this community did participate in the Allen Field stuff, so we can definitely get it. I know Oliver and Patrick and Joshua can get all folks here for a conversation about contract projects. So that can happen pretty quick, I think. So does the committee, we're a little past due, the committee make a recommendation that, what's the recommendation? That we want to work with ARC, that we recommend the village work with ARC in signing the pump track bike park, bike playground facility for Elm Fields. Does that sound right?
Yes,
My
sir.
concern is, but how's Oliver's project tie into this? I mean, he's
So
been
he-
here for 2 years, but it is,
So his skate park, concrete pad is standalone project. His
So he's still-
overgrounds, I believe it's the overground cement, phase 2 or phase 3 could be the pump track and other facilities adjacent to it, but
you're just won't affect
So,
what
yeah.
you're trying to accomplish.
No, not with the skate park. I did have some questions and maybe that's for later on.
you know, you can ask him now, we can ask him real quick.
So the proposal that I get, the proposal that you guys both done from me involved, working with community partners on pump track. That was kind of the wording for the phase 2 afterwards, that stuff. Just sort of the arrangements, it sounds like it's going to be a great deal and it's then to get these guys to do the pump track and move forward. I do have a few questions about between asphalt and concrete. But yeah, on the contract that we're going to write up for doing the skate park and how we work with the pump track and whether it's one unified action sports park as it was described in the proposal that you all voted on, whether we stick to that or whether we change it.
I think that's part of the design process, could think that through, I'm open to. We definitely have an agreement with you, the village has an agreement with you to move forward, so I think, I see the more partiers, the better, I think you're still the priority. Skate park, that was the first thing we were gonna get going on, which has the agreements, and we know more about that in a minute, I think. But, if we have an opportunity to work with these guys, with the talent they have, I don't see any reason why we should not at this point.
No, I mean, Carl just surveyed out there, so the stakes are there. So we want to just kind of get your area, wherever it's gonna be, so that we can build off of that with these guys for their design.
And the design should be complementary, it shouldn't just be like slab here and this there, it should complement it.
Yeah. I'm sure that's easily done.
Yeah, I think we're gonna need to work collaboratively with you as we're designing this park out, because our pump tracks tie into our skate parks pretty frequently. And so it's pretty easy to look at what you're doing, what we're doing, and make sure that we have good flow, good connectivity, that, what we're making complements what you're making.
Yeah, we'd love to get you on a call with our designer as well. Just get you guys the same record.
Do y'all need to make a site visit, I guess, for shoot some elevations?
Well, we definitely didn't bring a drone, but we'll go take some pictures, yes, yeah, we'd love to.
Visit the site after.
Yeah, are you gonna take them on site afterward?
I can do.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anyone else, we're after the meeting, 5 o'clock, we can go on site.
Absolutely.
Show them the lay of the land, if you will.
Bring him over, Jeff.
You're right.
Bring him over.
I'll leave now, so get it.
Yeah, we should have a roll call vote on that, so we have consensus agreement that we would, encourage the village to, enter into design phase with American Ramp Company to design the pump track in coordination with Overground Sports Park. So we have a roll call vote on that. Mr. Secretary. And I think it's pump track, bike skills.
We can do pump
In the
track,
playground.
bicycle playground for terminology's sake.
Yeah,
What do you call
Yes,
it?
yeah,
Like,
Yeah.
Bicycle playground.
yes.
okay, as absent, I vote yes. Chris,
Yeah.
John,
Yes.
Josh,
Yes.
so we have 4 out of our 7 voting members voting yes. So that should,
that's
you only voted
yeah,
in case of tie, so.
yes. Matt comes online, we can ask him too, but we have a,
We have 4 out of 7.
okay. All right, let's move on to other topics. Thank you guys for hanging with us. And so
Thank you.
Of course, thank you for
we
your
want
time.
to get you out there to the site here as soon as we wrap up today. All right.
Yeah, thank you guys.
Yeah, of course. Thanks, Josh.
All right, moving on to ECTA staff report. Lauren, he couldn't stay on, so.
No, he could stay.
So we want to talk about the trail assessments. We were looking at both UTAP and adaptive assessments for the Greenbelt trails and maybe village pathways. John, give us a status on that.
Yeah, I sent you guys an email, basically, I'm not sure if you looked at it, up there's 5 proposals that were submitted. They're looking at it internally themselves. But, I think I went down to some of them, they're, in the $62,000 range, so. But we need to probably scrub through those and figure out some of the terminology and how that's gonna work for us and what they're actually bidding on. One of the companies was Geo Unlimited, which I didn't think they had that kind of resources, but anyway. So we'll look through that. How many of you looked at the proposals yet? Anybody?
I decided, you know, this one.
Oh,
Open, yeah.
okay.
Briefly.
So I haven't had a chance to look at them except for some of the totals at the bottom.
So what was the scope of work that, did you put out, looking at the greenbelt and the mileage of the greenbelt system, village trails, is that what the scope was? And
Yeah, I think I sent you guys the RFP.
Okay, and then
In there.
it was both for adaptive and for
Yes,
accessibility, universal
Yes.
accessibility.
yes. So, once we go through those and scrub through them and see what, get some information input from Lauren, and we'll decide if we want to move forward with that. And also, the resort is a big part of this also.
I think there is, as far as, correct me if I'm wrong, Patrick, but the resort is okay with doing the assessment and then seeing where that takes us, how much work is required, resource wise, to do any improvements.
Be clear, I'm okay with it. Your approval for
Yes.
your higher ups.
Our liaison to the
You have
resort is,
bosses.
No, more importantly, what we're trying to do with costs.
yeah,
Absolutely.
understood.
But are we actually trying to modify the trail for, because of this, or just putting labels on the trail that this is okay for X, Y?
So it depends. So in the adaptive, there's the universal trail assessment just simply says, here's what we have on this trail. It's longest grade, steepest grade, cross slope, conditions for departure, all those kind of things. Adaptive looks at it a little differently because rollers for a 29er mountain bike are gonna be different than for a 3-wheeled bike that's much longer. And so, and then the critical edge and those other components where they're gonna lose center of gravity are different for adaptive. So if you really want to identify some adaptive friendly, it may need a few modifications, make it work. And I think this question that we're thinking about, if we are seen as a place for veterans healings and veterans wellness and health, we ought to be really thinking about what we can do either for the bump track part or trails that are adaptive friendly.
Does anyone know on Trails Plus grants? So if this is a joint effort between the village and the resort, is a private entity allowed to apply for or be part of the Trails Plus?
They can be, yeah, nonprofits can be part of a grant application.
You said
Nonprofit or profit organization, I think so. I think so, and I think maybe it could be some in kind in there as well.
Something to add to that, just as he was talking to Carl Colonis the other day, he said he actually ranks higher projects that have collaboration between multiple agencies. So if anything, that's a
You
benefit.
said agencies, but what about a for-profit corporation?
I think you could probably count them as a partner or private donor. But multi-agency projects, he did reference scored higher.
The only thing I saw interesting was, and Rocky, this is for you as well, I saw that typically the equity grants they've been doing have been really for people using programming the kids enters, not tourists. I also saw equity grant funding adaptive trail development, so we need to check with Carl, because potentially the equity fund could pay for this assessment if there was a condition of making an improvement or two afterward possibly. So we need to look into, can we use equity fund for an adaptive trail assessment for really focusing on adaptive people with disabilities using our system. Okay, second part of your topic
Second part
was,
of that topic was, looking at trail access into the Forest Service. And also looking at Hoopty-Doo and Ho Chi Minh as making a system of trails. Lauren has provided me a date of this coming Monday. He's open all day. We just have to decide what time we want to be out there with him. Look at those 3 or 4 access points. Determine what we can do to make them legal for access. Like I said, the one going in the Hoopty Doo is on private property. Apache Pass is probably a
Property with the utilities.
probably utilities, and then considering, Sunset
Sunset
Ridge.
Ridge is probably on private property with the.
Yeah, so Village has a water tank up there, so there might be some opportunity there for that. And then, of course, Lady Slipper goes into the forest after the bottom mile in.
From resort property.
Yeah, resort property into the forest, so.
So can anyone, participate Monday with
With Lauren,
Lauren?
and he said the Forest Service is aware of it, but probably will not participate in this first assessment.
In this first assessment, it's just looking at the access points, not the, what you do, the trails
Right,
themselves.
right, right.
The ideal too, just as the ones in town, don't you think? I
Mhm.
mean, the in-town access
Well, those were,
is ideal,
yeah,
just
yeah,
for
yeah.
starters. I would,
Well, yeah, I think we're just trying to make the
like
existing,
Sage, like going, trying to get some Sage up, right?
well, no, the Sage.
Is it Sage that goes up to Whoop-de-Doo or am I on the wrong?
Well, there's an access point at the end of
Ho Chi Minh.
Via Del Rey.
Via Del Rey is the end of that one.
Via Del Rey is the access point to, well, that goes to Ho Chi Minh, which then, or to Whoop-de-Doo, which then goes to Ho Chi Minh and then eventually to LA Park.
And Apache Pass is probably more ATV traffic than hikers.
Yeah, which we don't want to try to get legal access there.
Yeah, that's not a motorized trail.
Yeah, it's not.
A lot of people use it to get to Apache Canyon.
Still
Not
need
hikers.
hikers.
I'm just saying hikers.
No, that's what, we want to make legal access for hikers, not legal access for,
Yeah.
All right, stay on,
but this thing.
to stay on topic, who can, hike with Lauren on Monday? I'm not here in town. You two, anyone else?
I've got a family coming in this
Okay.
weekend.
Jeff?
Bring 2 bottles of water? Hey,
John,
I'll catch up with you.
Okay, yeah.
So these are the two best folks.
John and Tim are gonna meet with
Yeah,
Lauren
we'll
then?
meet with them.
Okay,
Once
thank
we
you.
come up with a time, I'll go ahead and meet with, or get an email to Lauren and let them know what time we decide to do this.
So for you two, one of our local issues that there's 2 well-traveled routes, in the national forest just outside the village resort boundary, that are not forest system trails. And we are attempting to make them forest system trails if we can figure out legal access to them. The next question becomes whether or not we can push in to have at least class 1 e-bike on it.
That's gonna be.
Which is easier because it's a non-system trail.
Hmm.
So if it's a system trail, it's almost impossible for a non-system trail. There are regulations make it easier to designate if it ties into an existing.
Yeah, but you don't want to go any further on the trail.
Yeah, I know,
Like
right.
Mark-
So anyway, that's, okay, progress reports on Allen Field's master plan, survey status.
I hear there's flags out
There's the
there.
survey, I brought coffee.
There's
I
stakes
ate
out
coffee
there.
for y'all. Yeah,
I'm anxious to go out and see that.
yeah. I
And
know.
it's, the stakes have been set. You set stakes.
Yeah, and provided the copy of the survey.
Have you seen the stakes? Or-
Just on the east side.
So that's done. We got the copy so that we've got a plan, a site visit for the perimeter trail, start planning a perimeter trail as well.
Yep.
We'll cover that in just a second. Any updates on skate park pad? Have you had any more conversation with the village?
No.
Do we need to help, instigate any of that conversation with the village? Do you know where that stands as far as,
So, I have to give a contract to Brett.
okay,
That's the weird, that's where we're at basically. So
okay,
I don't really know what the process is. I think we were waiting on the survey
Right.
and then, and then we're going to get engineering and get let's go out and bid for the pallet. That was the process is standard.
Okay, so now that the survey's done, he can identify the location. From the location, you can get the engineering.
Is the survey done? Hasn't Carl already been out there?
Yes,
Survey was done this past week, I believe, right?
I
just,
believe
just,
so, and council already approved the purchase of Oliver Slab, correct?
I didn't hear what he said. Say again, Joe?
And
The village,
council approved the purchase of Oliver Slab too, correct?
I believe so.
yes.
Yeah, I think, now that we know where the property boundaries are, we can now go out and designate a 200 by 100 foot area and then it's.
And maybe it plays in with design here, and make it all flow as one.
It's gonna be important.
Piece.
Yeah.
Okay, very good. Okay, perimeter trail and trails plus grant, Rocky.
Yes, so what is this agenda about? The current design
Well,
Trails Plus
It's-
or
it's
the
both.
future
One is-
FY 27?
I think we recognize that we, moved the Frank Young extension money, engineering money towards perimeter trail project.
Correct?
And we did one preliminary scouting walk with, out there looking at where the trail might go and found a couple of choke points and found some interesting ideas of where to put it, but it sounds like, in my mind, the next step for us, maybe, Patrick may offer Tucker to accompany us if he's not, has time, their trail expert to go re-walk the alignment where we put the trail, put pin flags out, something that then engineering could go look at that. We would provide engineering firm some of the specs we think need to occur for that trail. And then we've talked about, this is a design issue, Rocky, to me, that we could put the bicycle playground features along a section of the perimeter trail versus having standalone playground and have those features and kind of, bike park. Again, features or little
Right.
discovery zones on the trail.
Right.
And so that also plays into that whole thing with the engineering and how we go with the engineering grant. So, and we've got till March to get that money allocated and appropriated, correct?
That's correct.
Okay. So what do you need us to work on and how do we work with Tappan or Dennis Engineering on this?
Well, I don't know who, I've kind of out of the loop here with the project of this thing. But, my thought is that we need to get that engineering done. And my thought also is to get, I thought it'd be good to get, Lucas or somebody that knows about some of the things that we could put along the trail to incorporate into the engineering plan. But that all goes hand in hand with what we're gonna do with FY 27 Trails Grant. Are we gonna go with, finishing up the trail and constructing it? Or as Lucas mentioned, it's a possibility we could utilize that as part of the bike, the pump track, the bike trail, whatever. There's a lot of decisions here that still need to be made on that respect for FY 27. But initially my thought is that we needed to get this engineering plan done before September 30. I know we have till March, but it would be good to get it done so that we could utilize it as a finished product in moving towards the FY 27 Trails Grant. Those are my thoughts.
I guess one of the questions is, do we go out there and flag where we want the trail to go and then Dennis Engineering them come out and look at the flags and then, or is that a Carl? Is that?
We can GPS the route and then provide it to engineering and see where it is. We can do that. I don't think we need Carl for that piece of it.
Yeah. But the engineering plan needs to be pretty much complete. It needs to have cost estimates on some of the things that are going on, what kind of trail we're gonna put there. So there's a lot of work that has to be done there. I kind of thought maybe he had already started, but perhaps not.
I haven't seen any conversation. So,
We're basically waiting for
survey,
The
yeah.
survey, that's what's been kind of holding everything up, because it's kind of hard to put out pins if you don't even know if you're on the property.
So do we think
Carl-
that's realistic?
Carl hasn't staked it out yet?
This week and pinned it, that an engineering, complete engineering plan can be done by September 30th. It gives us 2 months.
So, let me ask these guys this question since they're already here. We had tried to do an extension from this Mountain View Center over here with the tent stuff right behind us to Allen Fields. But we've had trouble with getting right of way and, land access through the resort. So, and that's been 2 years that we got $100,000 engineering grant from, Trails Plus to engineer for this, so. The village, this committee and council agreed or the leadership agreed, let's just move that over to get a perimeter trail. It's about 1.5 mile perimeter trail around this whole recreation complex.
Mhm.
So part of it envisions maybe some parkour features from the high school. Part of it could be some fitness stations that, service, plyometrics, stretching, balance kind of activities for our older population in the village. And part of it. Look at mirror.
Whoever that is.
I am looking in the mirror. Damn it. Or perhaps, like playground feature. So with that engineering money we have, and you have a source well, is that possible that
To bring us on to design that trail?
you could design the trail versus using design engineering, which is more, in my opinion, more focused on large infrastructure projects than they are recreation projects.
Yeah, I mean, you have to find folks that understand mountain biking and trail and feature placement to ideally design those out correctly. And so we can do that really easily and really cost effectively and get you those 2D layouts that show where the trail is gonna go, where each feature is gonna go. You know, a kid's roller here, there's a teeter totter, a skinny section right here. I don't know if you wanna put any jumps on that, but it'd be pretty cool to do. But we can plan a trail and then drop those features around. So kind of like a fitness station when you're riding, if you want to pop off and do a little whoop-de-whoop, get back on. We can do that. We've got a full trail design team in-house.
That can cost you.
That's exactly what we're looking, that's
Yes.
exactly what we're looking for.
Could you design, there's like some bridge crossings. Are you able to
That's what the ramps are, the jumps.
Yeah. Work with the sign that says gap ahead.
Yeah.
No, so it depends on what's on the bridge. If it's a bridge that needs to be civilly engineered and an ambulance has to be able to drive across it, that's not our world. But if it's a pedestrian
Not an
crossing.
ambulance, pedestrian.
if it's a
Pedestrian
simple
crossings.
Yeah.
You got 2 crossings.
Yeah, those are a lot easier to design out. I mean, we've done plenty of ramps where you're on the trail and there's a cliff drop off. And so we had to engineer something kind of like it was shown on our PowerPoint where you have to corkscrew down. So we can do those bridges.
So Rocky, if American Ram Company through Sourcewell could do this, trail engineering, efficiently and quickly, is that acceptable to you as the grant administrator for that? Removing that money
Absolutely.
from Frank Young to that?
No, absolutely, because the engineering hasn't even started from Dennis Engineering. It hasn't even started. We'd have to revert
I'll
that
explain later.
designation of those funds to him. Oh, I'm sorry, did I? Okay. Can you hear me?
Oh, you're
Okay.
good.
Yeah, I think it's totally acceptable. I would just have to look at the details as far as, now, would you guys come up with a complete design?
Yeah, we could do
Okay.
design, we could do trail flagging, we could do construction documents if needed, but
You do
CDs
cost
are kind of
estimates?
redundant.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
And
And
since
cost-
we're the ones that manufacture all those features, we can put placements and measurements and heights and all of them and give you a
Okay.
cost estimate for them.
I actually had an idea.
I'd like to ask for maybe 24 hours just so that I could work out the detail and make sure we're not breaking any contractual things with Dennis Engineering.
Yeah, of course. And if it would help simplify things, that could be included in the concept design contract we're already gonna send over. I mean, if we're sending somebody out here to design a pump track, it's pretty cost effective to have them fly the drone over where that's gonna be and scan that. We can take
Okay.
care of all that in one contract.
Can that Trails Plus grant be used for both the design of the pump track and the perimeter trail?
That'd be a
Oh,
Carl
yeah.
question. That's complex, but Carl knows us and knows what we do, so maybe there could be an exception made. Just have to have a conversation with
I
him.
didn't think that, Frank, yeah, we have $100,000 to work with. I don't think it's $100,000 engineering for that trail.
Trail design's a little more complex, so I can't ballpark it right here. I'd be shocked if it cost $100,000 to do that.
There's no way that project would be done.
What?
100,000, do we have 100,000 plus match or did
We had a $99,000 grant. I think we had.
It's
do we have
$100,000.
$99,000 for match?
Yeah, it's a 1 to 2 match. It's a 1 to 2 match.
So what's our total that we have?
But if we spent 100,000, the village would have to come up with 50,000.
So we were awarded 100, and if we come up with another 50, we could design the whole road.
Yeah.
But what would you need from us to start that if Rocky gave you the green light to,
Whatever,
for the perimeter trail?
whatever side information you already have and what you're needing to go out there. So you said, what, a mile plus a trail and some prefabricated equipment? So
Yeah.
we would, include whatever features you guys are wanting out there. If you've got a topography, a site survey, a site outline, anything like that, that helps. If you don't have any of that, then we'll just include in our cost estimate, come out to take those measurements and come flag the trail. So just anything that you have on it, you can send it over. We can come up with an estimate for you. And it can be included in the pump track design, or it could be a separate thing because of, grant obligation.
I think we can flag, add grade. Most of it is, trying to do as much side slope as possible, on the edge of the wetlands to keep, so we have, good sheet flow on it. We recognize that it'll probably be a crusher fine, hard pack crusher fine. The problem in this community is that the crusher fine provided to us is a quartz-based crusher fine, which does not pack.
Have you thought of chip and seal?
I think the other one could be better for that. This one probably might be better as a natural surface.
Okay.
But we recognize that if we don't, put down some hardware fabric first, that it'll nothing but prairie dog sinkholes in the whole thing.
Yeah.
So the material layers of geotextile fencing fabric and aggregate is gonna be probably excavating a bathtub to put it in correctly, so there's sheet flow, because it all is the edge of the wetlands. So I think that's the engineering piece is how to do it.
Yeah.
Options
Low
with
impact.
those.
Options.
Yeah. So don't just pick the most expensive.
Yeah, we can flag it. I mean, there's enough of us in this that
So-
design experience.
So what level of design development would you need on that? Are you needing just a pretty basic concept we laid out, put features? Are you needing, more intense like, construction documents or flagging? Or is there any sort of special permitting that you're needing to hit? Or is it as simple as layout, half-mile loop?
Not permitting, but the construction document would be awesome, along with the estimated costs. Because
There are potential-
the next step would be to apply for the grant to actually build this trail out. And I think, to show, that we've completed this first round of grant money, it would be good to utilize that engineering plan as the engineering plan for construction of the trail.
Okay, so we can pull together an estimate to do concepts, adult to do construction documents for that trail.
Yeah. And you're
We
gonna
can
take a look
see
at it
the-
tonight, right? So,
Oh yeah, I'm ready to go for a hike.
And we can
All
send
right.
you what consensus meeting as just a concept
Right.
for,
That'd be
cause there's there's restrooms, trail goes to the restroom, so forth like that.
There's also the potential that we would want to eventually utilize, YCC crews for some of the construction possibly. So.
Yeah.
We could design it to accommodate youth work.
Yeah.
And then I would throw out, I didn't mention this in Patrick, this is a long shot, wall shot idea, but potentially in-kind match would be that the resort staff could build some of the playground features.
I trust. you.
Long shot,
I've seen your work.
because he's got 4 or 5 superior life forms above him, and like the idea.
One.
That's a thought as well.
One.
Yeah.
Okay.
If this all go to the city council.
Yeah. I don't think that needs to go to, do we need to have a roll call vote on having them look at engineering for that?
I think
We've already,
that's, Rocky just made
There's no-
it clear that
there's nothing
Rocky's
needed
gonna
for
check.
that. All this company's gonna do is, provide a quote. And then once we get the quote, and we decide we're gonna move forward, then we take it to council.
And you're gonna check, make sure there's no contractual hiccups with us
Yes.
looking at these guys. Yes, okay.
Yes,
And
Maybe
to get
24
quick
hours.
clarification, would you want us to include that on the pump track folks? You have pump track design X amount, trail design X amount, construction documents for trail design X amount, or break them out? Because if you got Trails Plus, I don't know if you can use Trails Plus on the same one. I think somebody would need to have a quick call with Carl.
Do you have a, I mean,
That's you.
would Carl give you that?
Yeah, I'm texting right now.
Rocky, you
Yeah.
feel comfortable with them just asking Carl that?
no, not at all. I think that's a great idea, because,
Yeah.
as long as you can do it for under 100,000.
Yes, sir.
Hey, tell us that you should do this.
That's what I said.
Yes, we've got.
That works.
Oh, good that job.
Oh, you're in that bucket.
I love this idea.
Okay. You're good where we're at with you're working on a contract with Brett. And then as the design comes together, we'll incorporate that whole blank space of land out there for skate park, like.
Trail.
Right?
Mhm.
Trail, right. Okay, reviewing assigned tasks and actions. So what do we got on our list of assigned tasks and actions?
Gotta go, gents. Take care.
Okay, thank you, Rocky.
Yeah.
So we have, Monday,
Oh, yeah.
Monday hike. Everyone's gotta take a look at the quotes from Adaptive Things, see if that makes sense.
You said that off today, Ken? Didn't see you on yet.
Last night, it went out,
Last night, I think it
yeah,
was, but
8 o'clock or something like that.
Yeah. I got it from him at 3 o'clock in the afternoon.
I did do a little, adaptive, trail assessment, kind of AI compared to the differences to see them, so.
Jeff, you'll make sure it gets on the agenda for council.
Yep,
Okay. And the goal, you're gonna share a
Which-
contract, I would deal with
which
us.
depending on, I mean, honest, we may not even need it if the Trails Plus grant works for the pump track design and the trail design, we may not even have to bring that to council for the design costs. Is that what you're talking about, the design costs?
Yeah,
The design costs for the one we originally approved to do the design for the village to work with these guys to design the pump track.
Yeah, I think if the pump track and the trails, if the Trail Plus grant will work for both the perimeter trail and the pump track, we won't even have to do that. I mean,
The pump track's been approved by, the master plan's approved, so.
but we're not having to ask
we do-
for funding from the
Nothing
village for the
I
design.
see. You'd use the Trails Plus grant that you got for
Existing.
trail planning
Yeah.
and then see if you can pivot from $100,000 worth of trail planning to asphalt pump track and trail and still be able to use those funds.
Yeah, but I will, I will make sure it's on the agenda.
Just in case.
Yeah. Then
That
we
was
just
the
table
goal.
it.
but the only thing is, does the, village doesn't have a contract with American Ramp yet, unless it's through the source well, right? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah,
And we'll send over a contract that you guys can take to council to get approved.
Yeah, that would be the only thing I would think.
But I
Well,
think,
and we'll have them do a whole,
yeah,
what you did with us today.
I believe it's called a song and dance.
For council. That was a great.
all right, agenda items for our next meeting, continue fighting on these topics, right? Right?
Yeah,
yeah,
All
just-
business, no new business.
yeah, I don't think
Okay. All right, updates for, Councilor Weeks to take to council.
I think we should concentrate just on this.
Okay,
yeah.
do you got enough points to bring up?
Yeah,
All right. And next meeting date and time. So we're into August already.
Should we meet,
Sooner than
Sorry.
later.
there's gonna go out this afternoon, but when are we gonna be doing the staking?
Yeah, we gotta set a staking date out here sometime for either into next week or the following week. I can do towards the end of next week if we need to do a staking in flag.
yeah, cause I'll be gone the following week.
Okay. You wanna shoot for next Thursday for,
Yeah, if you
now
want me
let
to
it
bring
bring
it, I'll
I
take
think
it.
we're just gonna pin flag it, I think. Once we pin flag it, we need to get a bunch of pin flags.
I got like 100 of them,
I feel like that's the stakes he had.
the
The,
wooden sticks.
You want me to get more of those?
did you?
It'd be like a lot of, quite a few of them, but
Yeah,
they're still there, right? So they're
old ones?
working.
Pull them all up again.
Yeah.
What?
the LP's line, I think they're flowers.
Monkey
The
wrench.
only ones that are there are electric.
Well, no, that's what I mean.
Yeah.
They still, they still held up.
So next, can we do next Thursday morning? For you hiker
Yeah,
people?
well, we would, just in lieu of doing a hike, we would just do this.
Okay.
We don't have a hike scheduled yet for next Thursday.
Yeah.
It's gonna be one, but
This could be it.
8:30,
Everybody.
8:30 next Thursday?
8:30 on
I
next
wanna
Thursday.
take up pickleball.
Darn. Got big boys.
8:30 Thursday, meet on site for a hike with, flag in.
You want me to bring the mower, let me know.
Yeah, we'll bring the pedometer along and check for grade and try to flag out the route. Okay,
And so does the American Ram Company, they said they would fly a drone over. Is that gonna be like a LiDAR scan? And when does that happen? Is that later?
Yeah, so after we would contract for the design, concept design services, we would have one of our drone flyers, one of our designers come out here and fly the drone. Yes.
And
But
as,
we would have
and as
to,
far as the drone, is that like a LiDAR scan or what, or is it just photos? What is that?
yeah, it's photos. I could get you details on it from my designer. I don't think it's a LiDAR scan. I don't believe so. Yeah.
And we're gonna schedule it.
Substantial cost.
next committee meeting should be probably, all the stuff happened and it should be August 20th or the 13th possibly, right? All these deadlines are coming up, so we've kind of got to say quick for you. August 13th,
I think sooner rather than later,
okay. You guys are,
3 p.m.
how did that happen?
We did 10 miles this morning.
Okay, August 13th, 3 p.m., committee meeting. All continuing agenda topics. Okay. Look at that, we have 4 minutes, we get 4 minutes to chat before we wrap up with all these to kill time.
Is that time available there?
As far as I know, but let me check.
August 13th.
August 13th, 3 p.m.
We're still doing that.
Yes, it is.
Okay.
As of right now, it is.
Okay, book us.
Down.
Put some slides.
Okay, any other, discussions for the good of the cause today?
Let's see what it looks like.
Meeting adjourned, thank you.
Recording stopped.